Well, good morning and welcome back to the homestead. It is about 28 degrees out here, and we are waiting on some gravel. Taking a step away from the shop build to focus on the interior French drains for the property, or for the house actually, and trying to get that done, as well as getting prepped for foundation prior to cold weather really starting in. It'll warm up today to about 48-50 degrees, so got plenty of time for that. But we're out here early waiting on the gravel truck to arrive, having 30 yards of gravel delivered, so that way I could line the interior, the foundation with that, then do the French drains, the corrugated PVC pipe, and then the sump basin and sump pump. So that should take care of our water drainage problem prior to having the footers in and the walls erected. It'll give me some time to get that sorted out. So come along as we work on French drains. Overall, I have to bring in some dirt that I took out of here because my base for the foundation forms is a little high, and I need to kind of fill that in and reinforce that before I add the gravel to the mix. But certainly got some work ahead there. But then we'll add the gravel to that and put in our pipe. It should be pretty simple. Overall, get the sun out of there. Overall, the process shouldn't be that complex, and we should be able to get this done in the next couple of days and be set up and ready for our interior drains to be complete. I also have to do the front porch as well, because that's going to be kind of an enclosed section, and so that way I want to have that drain, otherwise it'll be full of water as well. This happens every August, and for those that are not familiar with it, this is what occurred. Well, the water continues to rise from as the water table does, and I've got about, I don't know, foot and a half of water throughout the entire excavation area where the foundation is going to go. While a little bit frustrating, and it certainly is a huge setback to the plans I had as far as getting that part done, the golden, or the silver lining, if you will, of this is that I hadn't put down the interior footers frames for the pony walls that hold up the subfloor and floor joists. And so in doing my research, it looks like I'm going to put in a French drain into this and a sump pump. I'll use a 4-inch corrugated pipe, PVC pipe, to go around the perimeter of the entire area. And then I will add a sump pump into the lowest point and a sump pump pit, and then start draining this out. So realistically, it's better to have found out now. Apparently in this area, and having talked to the neighbors and some other things, this happens quite a bit. At least not quite a bit, but it happens once a year around this time of year. And so at least we know, and we found out early before we got cement poured and had a bunch of stuff to have to undo in order to put that in. So what we'll do, so now we'll go ahead and get our French drain installed, and I've got the pump on order. As soon as that arrives, we'll get that in and start emptying this out and letting it dry out so we can continue. So stay tuned as we work on our newfound lake. Anyway, the water receding certainly helped us. It didn't last that long, but that 3 weeks and a month, or to a month that the water was here, setting back quite a bit because I had planned on having the foundation in already, and we were far behind schedule on that. However, we've got to get this done. We got to get it done correctly. So we'll begin work on it. I'm using 3/4 inch rock in the foundation slot to help with drainage, and also make sure there's not a lot of sediment and other pieces in there to clog up my conduit. But we're getting close with the gravel. We got one more load. Well, one thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remove a section of the footer in order to get the tractor in here. I worked a deal helping out at my neighbor to utilize his skid steer, which is a huge savings for me in the end. Helped him and it helps me, but we'll get busy removing that section of footer form so that I can start moving gravel in here. Well, that's a little bit frustrating to have to take that apart. However, I got to be able to get the tractor in here, and that's the only way I can do it, is take those apart. Plus, once I get the French drains done and I get ready to redo the footers, I have to go through again with the laser level and make sure everything is actually set up and still level through here. I think that with the water in here and the weight of the boards, I think it might have shifted the footer forms in some spots, so I want to double check that before we get to the pour later on, hopefully before the weather sets in. Well, today we're headed up to Kalispell to pick up some 3-inch corrugated pipe, PVC pipe, for the interior drains for the house. And we're having to go so far because locally trying to find PVC is a bit of a nightmare. The fact that I have to go an hour away either direction is tough, because I have to get this stuff from a big box store, and even they're limited. Missoula only had 5 pipes available, and Kalispell had about 30. So I figured I better get it done and get up there and get them beforehand. Again, it goes with the shortages that we're seeing, is that stuff is hard to find. That, and some of the stuff is people see it and they want to pick it up. On this order here, I had purchased online and I had it set aside, and somebody had pulled off 3 of them for their own purchase, even though I'd already purchased them. So there's a little bit of a nightmare in dealing with the order that I'm now going to pick up. But we've got it ordered and we've got it there, so we'll go pick that up and continue on with the process of building our interior drains. So I went ahead and got all the dirt moved in there and filled in the gaps and rebalanced out the area. It got a little distorted with all the water that was in there, so I went ahead and leveled it all back out and got it straightened up. And now it's almost ready for rock. I got to re-examine all of the footer forms. I bumped a few with the tractor, so I'm going to have to doctor those a little bit, clean up the edges, and then we'll be ready for rock. At least that's the hope. But I got to tell you, it's a little frosty out here, a little cold. Certainly certainly earning my dues today. Well, needless to say, today ain't my day. I was in the process of digging out the pit for the cistern, and of course hit another big giant rock and snapped my shovel in the process. So now I got to figure out a solution for that. It's cold, I'm under the weather, but you know what? We're gonna keep going. No one's here to get it done for me, so back at it. Well, I managed to get all of the rock put in, which is a good thing. It was a struggle. Like I said, I'm not really feeling it today. Broke a shovel, some other small things, but needless to say, got it done and looks pretty good. Next up, we'll start putting in the 3-inch conduit, getting that ready. I also got the sump pump basin installed as well, which is a big bonus. when the water rose, it got about halfway up the footer forms. Those are 2x10s, so I figure it rose 5 to 6 inches, and I've got the conduit will sit at towards the base of that, so it would be completely submersed if and when this fills back up. So in theory, everything should go down the pipes and into the drainage basin, and that's why I drilled holes in that, is because there's a lot of groundwater seepage that also will fill up early on, and the sump pump will pull that material out of there, that water out of there, and then bring it outside the thing. I've got a loop that runs the entire foundation, and we'll go ahead and get that pipe buried so that we've got that under control. Well, the French drains are installed, and the basin as well, so that once the stem walls and all that go up, I'll move the actual piping from the sump pump outside of the stem walls for drainage. But with the addition of the drainage rock and the corrugated pipe, I think we have a pretty good chance of tackling that water when it comes up every season. At least I know how high it gets, and I know what I put in will definitely help move water around to where I need it and to where I can pump it out. Along with the percolation that normally occurs, it's about a month-long process, but the last thing I want is for it to get in our basement and start molding. Next thing I have to do is I have to go through, the water did do some damage to the forms themselves. I've got a little bit of sag on a couple of them, so I have to go through and I'll re-level everything in here, get all that sorted out, and then it's time to put in the interior forms to support the floor once the subfloor is ready to go in and all that, because I have to build across the back here. I have 3 different 10 by 8 by 42 concrete footings that have to go in there to support 3 pony walls that will support the main floor of the house. So that's the next step in the process, is preparing for that. So stay tuned and get ready for that as we go. If you like this sort of thing, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow, and I certainly appreciate it. All right, until next time, we start working on inside walls.